tawny pelt of Africa. So, what a wonderful expression. Somebody has made, rather, this poet has made this poem or Africa as a beast or an animal, because ruffling the tawny pelt, ruffling is, disturbing the pelt, is skin or the fur on the animal. So, a wind is ruffling the tawny pelt of Africa. Wind can be symbolic to a power or a natural disaster. It may be taken as a gust, right? So wind is Great Britain, and Africa is an animal whose skin and whose fur is being disturbed by that wind. So a wind is ruffling the tawny pelt, brown, ruffling the tawny pelt of Africa. It means that wind is disturbing Africa. It means that the colonizers are disturbing the very peace of Africa. Kikoyo, so this is the name of the place. Quick as flies. Quick means very lively. Quick as flies batten upon the bloodstreams of the veld. Bloodstream of the veld means the grassland. Veld is the grassland, right? So the way flies hover over the veins of grassland, Kikoyo's life is very much similar, very busy. They are very busy the way flies are. So corpses are littered through a paradise. So nobody knows from where those corpses are coming. Everywhere there are dead bodies. So those dead bodies are, very dangerous or very alarming for the poet, because he is disappointed on this situation. We'll later come to know that how it is disappointing for the poet and why he is not with the freedom fighters and why he is torn between two ideas. But maybe why this identity crisis is with him. So we'll try to uh, read this poem with reference to ambivalence. So corpses are littered through a paradise, but still the warm colonel of Karin cries. Colonel is the British representative cries, waste no compassion on these separate dead. So waste no compassion on these separate dead means that have no sympathy for them, since this violence or killing is in reaction to something. So we should not have mercy upon the people who have been killed. People from Kikoyo were responsible for something, and it was a counter-attack by the British Army. So waste no compassion, show no mercy on these separate dead. So because um, those people are savages. Statistics justify. Statistics justify means whatever is present at the moment or situation justifies that this killing is good. Why? Because some white person or child or family has been butchered by the black savages living in Kikuyu. So statistics justify it, and scholars sees the salient of colonial policies, and scholars are unable to see, or they are unable to present the counter discourse of colonial policies. Rather, they support the imperialism which tries to create its hegemony in that very area. Because this is the white man's burden to civilize the savages. So, Britishers are there to civilize the black savages, Africans. Okay, what is that to the white child hacked in bed, savages expendable as Jews? Means, what difference does it make for a child who has been butchered in the bag, or for the savages who have been considered as Jews? What difference does it make for them? Why this violence? Why this violence is so inevitable for the both the groups fighting in Africa? Why it is ever necessary for them? It would not benefit the child who has been butchered, or the savages, or the Africans who are fighting for their freedom or whatever. So it is not benefiting them. Thrashed out by beaches, the dry rushes break in a white dust of Isis, whose cries have pealed since civilization's dawn. Now it says that everywhere there is a murky scene. Murky scene means very gloomy or dusty scene, and it is like it is situation quite equivalent to the arrival of ibises. Ibises is a bird of having a long beak, and they usually excavate their food from the earth. But what happens? The farmers does not. The farmers do not allow them to have their food from that very field. So it is the dust of ibises because they have just taken off, and it is happening right from the beginning that the birds or the predators or beasts they're considered bad, or they are taken as enemies. So the farmers don't allow them to have food from their fields. So that is one of the problems. From the parched river or breast teeming plains, so everywhere. I mean, this is the landscape. From the river to plain, this violence is going on. The violence of beast on beast is read as natural law. What is it? The violence of beast on beast is read as natural law. Means when a beast or an animal has a violence or kills another, say, animal, it is justified. We say that this is like natural law because animal kills an animal, so it's okay. But upright man seeks his divinity with inflicting pain. So what happens when a person inflicts or he loses havoc upon other community? What happens? He seeks divinity. He says that no, it is justifiable because this is the very much teaching of my religion. For example, if we take the example of Christianity, it would say that okay, fine, the white people are the children of God, so they have every right to rule over the world and civilize all the people. So uh, on this venture, if they have to inflict pain on others, for example, savages, in order to tame them, they have every license to do that. So divinity is there to help them. So they take the help from religion in order to uh, inflict pain on others. So that is quite ironic. Um, we think that an animal, when an animal, you know, eats or kills a beast, um, rather, for example, if a tiger or a lion kills a deer, we say that this is the law of nature. But what happens when a man kills a man? We come up with so many justifications. We say, no, this is because it was inevitable. This is because that man has become the cancer for this society, so it need to be eliminated. So that thing is quite ironic here. So delirious as these worried beasts, delirious means wild. His wars, his wars dance to the titan carcass of a drum. So wars of the people, this is the greatest criticism ever. So we can see that dance to the titan carcass of a drum. So this is not the beat of a drum, but this is the beat of carcasses. So you see the dead bodies around. So you are dancing on the dead bodies. It is not the beat of drum, or it's not a moment of pleasure or kind of happiness, but it is uh, something violent that needs to be contested. So while he calls courage still that native dread of the long peace contracted by the dead. So while he calls courage, still that native dread. So you see, for example, the freedom fighters, Mau Mau freedom fighters, they're fighting against the British rule. So they think that they're courageous. They are attacking the enemy, so they're courageous. In fact, they are not courageous, the poet says. He says that it is the dread or fear that their land might be taken by the British colonizers. So in this fear, he is fighting those colonizers. A long peace contracted by the dead. So on the other hand, what happens? The colonizers who try to maintain peace, they are committing violence. So that is quite ironic. in this situation, that the people who claim themselves courageous are, not at all. They have fears, and the people who think that they would establish peace on dead bodies, they're living in fool's paradise. So this is not justifiable at any cost, the poet says. Against savage necessity. So, this doctrine of necessity, it was very much inevitable. We had to do it. We have to eliminate this group because this is quite cancerous for the society. So killing was inevitable here. So this is savage necessity, that you create an image, you create another, that it needs to be wiped out. Again, savage necessity wipes its hands upon the napkin of a dirty corpse. It's like you are killing someone and you are just wiping your hand with a dirty napkin. Means you are doing a bad thing in order to eliminate a bad thing. So one bad cannot uh, do a good. So a bad thing in order to do a bad thing is not justifiable. Again, a waste of our compassion, as with Spain. So you see that the Spanish Revolution. This is called illusion when somebody is making reference to any event in the world. So he alludes, ALLUSIUN, illusion, right? Illusion is a figure of speech in literature that is used when we have references to other texts and events in the world. So a waste of our compassion, as with Spain. So it's very much like Spanish revolt, where the gorilla wrestles with the Superman, where the gorilla means the native, who is considered savage or kind of villain, wrestles with the Superman. Who is Superman? The white. So white considers himself superior. So there it happened that the fighting gorilla was fighting the Superman or a superior white man. So now he is turning the table of this point. How is he turning? He is bringing it. He is associating this poem with his life. Now we are talking about speaker, if not talking about poet, but it's quite similar to the poet's life. So we can say that it is the poet who is saying this. I, who am poisoned with the blood of both. Now he's using this word poison. It means that he has been injected with the values of both the cultures. I, who am poisoned with the blood of both, it means that he has sympathy for both of them, right? He has been trained the way that he likes his own culture, and at the same time, he does not dislike the British culture. So where shall I turn? Divided to the vain, I who